Hello students, so in this video we will discuss a very important operation of arrays, that is sorting. So what is sorting? So sorting is a process to arrange numbers in ascending or in descending order. Ascending order means arrangement of elements in increasing order. Descending order means arrangement of elements in decreasing order. Like we have been given an array and you can see here that all the elements of this array are in random order. And if you see this array, here you can see that all the elements of this array are in increasing order, that is ascending order. So above array is unsorted array and the array below here is a sorted array. So students, there are many techniques to sort a given unsorted array, like bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, quick sort, etc. And in this video we will discuss about the bubble sort. So let us try and understand the basic working principle of this bubble sort technique. So in this technique what we will do, we will compare and we will check each adjacent elements that whether they are in correct order or not. So what is correct order? So if we are arranging the elements in ascending order, then correct order would be that the value present at on the left hand side should be less than the value present on its right hand side. So we will compare each adjacent elements, and if they are not in correct order, we will swap them. Like you see here, first we will compare two very first element of this array A, that is A0 and A1, the element present at the first index and at the second index. So 77 and 33 will be compared. Now you see here that 77 is greater than this 33. That means this 33 should be on the left hand side. So what we will do? We will just swap them. So now 33 will be in place of 77 and 77 will be in place of 33. So this is the correct order of these two elements. Now what we will do next? We will compare next two elements, the element present at index 1 and the element present at index 2, that is A1 and A2. Here you see 77 and 44. So we will compare them, and again you see here that 77 is greater than this 44. So these two values must also be swapped. So we will swap them to get the new array, and now we will compare A2 and A3. So this is the basic principle to sort an array using bubble sort. So let's understand this more precisely. So first we will compare the elements A0 and A1, and if they are not in correct order, we will swap them. Then we will compare A1 and A2, the next two elements, and if they are not in correct order, we will swap them too. Then we will compare A2 and A3, and again if they are not in correct order, we will swap them. Then A3 and A4 will be compared, then A4 and A5 will be compared, then A5 and A6 will be compared, and finally last two elements A6 and A7 will be compared. And if any of these are not in correct order, we will swap them, and if they are already in correct order, we will not do any changes. So let's do it more precisely. So first we will compare the elements A0 and A1, and you see here that A1 is less than A0, so we will swap them. Then A1 and A2 will be compared, and here you see they will swapped again. Then A2 and A3 will be compared, and again you see that A3 is less than A2, so these two numbers will also be swapped. Then A3 and A4 will be compared, and here we see that the value of A3 is less than the A4, so no swapping will be there. Then A4 and A5 will be compared, values will be swapped. Then A5 and A6 will be compared, again the values will be swapped. Then A6 and A7 will be compared, and again the values will be swapped. Now you see here, this is called the end of pass 1. So the last comparison is in between last two elements, and here we see that after this pass we have the largest element at the end of this array, and this is the correct position of this largest element. So you can see here that this end of pass 1, the largest element gets its correct position. So we will not end up here. You can see here that array is not sorted still. So we will do the same process again in pass 2. So we'll have this array in the pass 2, and you can see here that the largest element of this array is at its correct position. So again we will do the same step, but we will exclude this last element in this pass 2. So first comparison will be in between A0 and A1, and since they are at correct order, so there will not be any swapping. Then A1 and A2 will be compared, they are not in correct order, so there will be swapping between 44 and 11. Then 44 and 77 will be compared, like A2 and A3 will be compared, and they are in correct order, so no swapping will be there. Then 77 and 22 will be compared, that is the element at index 3 and 4 are compared, swapping will be there since 22 is less than 77. Then A4 and A5 will be compared, swapping will be there. Then A5 and A6 will be compared, and mind you, this is the last comparison of this pass 2. So in pass 2, the number of comparisons will be 1 less than the pass 1. So now here you see the 77 and 5 will be compared, and 77 will be at its correct position after this comparison. So you see, at the end of this pass 2, the second largest element gets its position. That means now second largest element is at its correct position. So you can see at the end of pass 2, you can say two elements are sorted now. So what will happen in next pass? So in next pass we will have this array. So you can say that the last two elements are already sorted, so they will not participate in this pass. So again we will do the same process, A0 and A1 will be compared, swapping will be done. Then A1 and A2 will be compared, no swapping will be then done. A2 and A3 will be compared, there should be swapping. Then A3 and A4 will be compared, no swapping should be there. Then A4 and A5 will be compared, and of course A5 is less than A4, so there will be a swapping. So 66 will be at A5 now, and you can see here that last three elements are sorted now. So at the end of pass 3, three elements are sorted. So what will happen in next pass? So in next pass we will have this array. So now three elements are already sorted. So again we do the same process. A0 will be compared with A1, A1 will be compared with A2, A2 will be compared with A3, and A3 will be compared with A4. And now you see at the end of this pass, the fourth element will get its position in the array. Now what will happen in next pass? So in next pass we will having only 4 elements left. So after fourth pass we are having 4 elements sorted. So now again we will do the same process. A0 will be compared with A1, then A1 will be compared with A2, then A2 will be compared with A3, and this will be the last comparison. So now you can see that 44, which is the fourth largest element, sorry, fifth largest element, is now at its correct position. Then at next pass we will compare these three elements, the same process will be done. 33 will be at its right position. Then in next pass, at pass number 7, there are only two elements left, so we will compare A0 and A1. So A1 will get its position, and now there is only one element left. So you can see for single element there is no need to do any comparison. You can say the array having element of size 1 is already sorted, so we need not to compare it with any other element. So by this way you can see after 7 passes this array will be sorted. So this is the basic working principle of sorting technique using bubble sort. So how we can conclude this sorting? So we can conclude that in order to sort an array of size n, we need how many passes? We need n minus 1 passes. Like in our example, the size of array is 8 and we have to complete 7 passes to sort that array. The second point is that in each pass we compare adjacent elements. That means we compare the element at index, let's say j, and the element present at index j plus 1, and if they are not in correct order we swap them. So in each pass what we do, we actually compare the element aj and aj plus 1, and if the value of aj is greater than aj plus 1 we swap these elements. And in every pass we start this comparison with the very first element. That means first comparison is between a0 and a1. That means at this time the value of j is 0. Then next comparison will be in between a1 and a2. At this point of time the value of j will be 1. So we have to increment this j each time. Then the next comparison will be in between a2 and a3. So this will be a loop which starts with 0, and every time we will increment this j by 1. But what is question here? The question is that what will be the terminating condition, like up to which value this j will go. So this will depend actually on the pass number. You see, in the first pass the last comparison was in between a6 and a7, and in pass 2 the last comparison was in between a5 and a6. So it will depend on the pass number, in which pass we are in. Like you can see here, in pass 1 the last comparison is a6 and a7. So the loop of j will start from 0 and goes up to 6. So we can conclude that if the size of array is n, then this loop will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 2 actually. And in pass 2 you can see here the last comparison is in between a5 and a6. So you can see here the loop start from 0 and goes up to 5. When j will be 5, then last comparison will be in between a5 and a5 plus 1, that is a6. So in pass 2 we can conclude that loop of j should start with 0 and should go up to n minus 3. The same way in pass 3 it should go up to n minus 4. So we can conclude here that in pass 1 loop of j should start with 0 and should go up to n minus 2, and in pass 2 it should go up to n minus 3, and in pass 3 it should go up to n minus 4, and in the last pass, the pass number n minus 1, it should be execute only one time, that is from 0 to 0 actually. And now comes some more observations. So we can say that there are n minus 1 passes in this bubble sort, and we can use a for loop to represent a pass. Like what we will do, we will take a for loop which will execute n minus 1 time each time for one pass. So when I will be 1, we will say pass 1 will be executed, and when I is 2, we would say pass 2 will be executed. The same way when the value of I is n minus 1, we will say that pass n minus 1 will be executed. That means we have to run total n minus 1 passes. So the loop of I will be executed n minus 1 times from 1 to n minus 1, and for each value of I, 1 pass will be executed. And we have already seen that in pass 1 loop of j will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 2, and here you can say the value of I will be 1. So when value of I will be 1, the loop of j should start from 0 and should go up to n minus 2. The same way, when the value of I is equal to 2, that is pass 2 actually, the loop of j should start with 0 and should go up to n minus 3. The same way, in the last pass, when I is n minus 1, the loop of j should start from 0 and goes up to 0 itself. That means the loop of j will be executed only once. And so if the value of I represent the pass number, then inside this I loop, the loop of j should start from 0 and should go up to n minus 1 minus I. So when the value of I will be 1, that is pass 1, the value of n minus 1 minus I will be n minus 2. So in pass 1, when I is 1, the loop of j will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 1 minus I, that is n minus 2. And for I is equal to 2, that is pass 2, the loop of j will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 3, since the value of n minus 1 minus 2 will be n minus 3. So here is the final loop. So this is the loop of I, which will represent the number of passes. When I is 1, pass 1 will be executed. When I is 2, pass 2 will be executed. The same way, when I will be n minus 1, the pass number n minus 1 will be executed. And for each pass, we will use the loop of j, which will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 1 minus I. And each time we will compare aj and aj plus 1, and if aj is greater than aj plus 1, we will swap them. So here is the entire program. So in this program, we will use an array of size, let's say 100, and then we will ask user to enter the size of array. If he enters the size, we will store that number in n. So here capital N will represent the size of the array. Then we can scan all the elements of the array. Then this logic will be applied in order to sort the entire array. And here you can see that swap them means we have to swap here aj and aj plus 1. So we need to put the logic to swapping of two numbers like this. So here we are declaring an array, taking the size of array, scanning the array, and then if the value of aj is greater than aj plus 1, we are swapping these numbers. So we are using a temporary variable, and t is equal to aj is equal to aj plus 1, and aj plus 1 is equal to t. Will swap these two numbers, and then after the coming out of this loop, we will print the entire array, which will be now a sorted array. And here you see the program, the same program which we have discussed, and we are going to run it. This is the logic we have discussed, and here is the printing of array after sorting. So let's run it. So here I need to give the size of array. Let's say I am giving size, say 8. Then we need to enter the elements of this array. Suppose elements are 41, 63, 12, 36, 2, 85, 62, 74. And here you can see The unsorted array is 41, 63, 12, 36, 2, 85, 62, 74, and the sorted array is 2, 12, 36, 41, 62, 63, 74 and 85. So you can see here that this program is able to sort the array. I hope with this video you are able to understand the concept of bubble sort, and now you are able to make the program also. Thank you.